I'll be here tomorrow. Don't worry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a request for doing Winter 18 Part 3 Nomenclature Test 2, and I'm gonna move some stuff down because my face is in the way. I can move my face out of the way. There we go. All right. Wow, what do we do? We draw 2 dots. I got room in the horizontal direction. And I always get questions, well, which has to go on top, which goes on the bottom? I'm putting the 7 in the middle this time because I never do that. There we go. 2 on the top. 6 on the bottom. Oh, just to be sure, that's I know it's a dot, but it's not a bridgehead dot, right? It's a carbon. You guys know about this. Remember, we can still do, you can, on this one, you can do the circles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that looked like it might just be one bond, so I had to make sure. And on, where's 1? You pick 1. It's one of the blue dots, right? You like the left one. Okay, I'm going with it. Now, you don't have any choices now for 2. Got to go to the big bridge first, 2, and that makes this one 9 and 8. And then
there's only 2 dots on the top.
it's a bicyclo.
No.
We know there's 2 dots. There's 2 bridgehead dots. They're shared by all the rings. And the 6 is the one down here. The 2's here. It doesn't have to be top, bottom, middle, left, right. And the example I used this morning was, my name is Dr. Whitaker. My name is Dr. Whitaker. My name is Dr. Whitaker. I looked different every time, didn't I? But I was the same. So it doesn't matter if you rotate the molecule. That's going to change the which rings you get where by just rotating it, right?
And the way you number it is.
It must be bridgehead number 1, must go to biggest bridge first. And there you go. We got 9. We have a group on 12, so we have to get at least to 12. Where must 10 be?
Down.
Black dot, yes. Down. I suspect 12 is part of a double bond, and it is indeed, isn't it? Double bond from 12 to 13. It says 12-ene. Now the question is on 12, you have 2 choices. I'm going to draw them and erase them as we go. Are we putting the phenyl here? Or if that doesn't work out to give us a Z double bond, 12 has to be Z. Please verify that. If that doesn't work out to be Z, then I'm going to do this to fix it. It looks terrible, but that would be the fix. Draw it straight down instead of straight up. But it is up because she knows already that a phenyl group will be the highest priority on carbon 12 because it's a C with nothing but bonds to C. And this is a C that has 2 H's. So when you're doing E and Z, that's the number 1 group on the left, right side of the double bond. And on the left, it's the carbon is the number 1 group, not the hydrogen. And the 1s are on the same side. So it's Z. We did it. Don't try a short form on the phenyl. You'll lose a half point if you put pH there. Nomenclature section, this is haram. You have to put the drawing, okay? All right. Now on vinyl right here. How do you draw vinyl?
There's
2 carbons, that's a good start.
And a double bond.
And a double bond between them, yeah. Nice. And then on carbon 9, we've got a very funky group. It says Z23 dibromoallele. Let's draw allele first. How many carbons? 3. Now the double bond, I get this one, students get wrong a lot of times. It has to be at the end or it's not allele. There's allele. Here's how I like to remember allele, and I think it'll help you. You draw a CH2 first, and then you draw a vinyl. Is that a good way to remember it?
Yeah.
CH2 followed by vinyl is allele. What's carbon number 1 of any group? The one attached to the, uh-oh, the chain. In this case, the chain's the ring, but same idea. So number 1 is here. Number 2 has a bromo on it. And how do you make it Z with a bromo on 3? Do you put the bromo down here or up here? Up, because it has to be on the same side as the other bromo. You have the Z dibromo allele.
And if we do them down, both of them down.
That would work. It looks a little funky, but that is perfect. Yeah. Oh, went too far. I'll go back to the prettier one. There we go. And then we have vinyl, we have phenyl, we have the dibromo allele. We're ready for stereocenters. And I know that the test, it said this was a 4-pointer. This has got 4 elements of like variability, like R's and S's and E's and Z's. That is not a 4-pointer. I bet on the answer key, when you see it graded, I crossed off 4 points and put 5. I put money on it. Well, I could lose money, but on yours, it'll have about this much stuff. That's what I'm saying. And it's 5 points. And you've got 3.5 out of 5. Not bad. 2 stereocenters for your last 1.5. Go to carbon 1. Carbon 1's needs to be S. And this one's not a tricky stereocenter. Thank goodness. Numbering. The vinyl's 1. The vinyl carbon has 2 bonds to carbon. You can't say that about the other ones. I believe that, ooh, it's tricky.
Choose the bottom one.
Yeah.
Top.
Yeah. Watch. CH2 ties CH2. Agreed?
Yeah.
CH2 ties CH2. This C has nothing but C. This next C here has an H. 2 C's tie the 2 of the C's off this thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you knew it. You knew it, but you're like me. You think you see it and you just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's why I put the smallest.
Check your work.
In the middle. I don't put it in the right or left like that.
There you go. Yeah, it would have been easier for to see if it, so go with the smallest in the middle if it works, helps you with stereocenters. Then 3, and then the middle part doesn't hit anything for 100 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, if you connect 1, 2, and 3, you don't get S. Oh no, don't cry. We have a solution. Put the 4 on a wedge, because we got the wrong answer. If we connect 1, 2, and 3, and the 4 is on a dash, it's the wrong answer. If you connect 1, 2, and 3, and the 4 is on a wedge, you got the opposite answer is the right answer. The opposite of R is S. All right, we got 4.25 points out of 5. And then we're going to move on to the other stereocenter. Oh, I think the 1 is the one that goes towards the dibromo allele.
Number 1.
Yeah. I think the 2 is this one, right? CH2 that hits a C with nothing but C.
The bottom one.
The bottom one, and then 3 CH2, CH2, then a branch. And same reason for 4 as before. It's CH2's what, 6 times? 7 times. Sorry. And then 1, 2, 3 is R, and it's supposed to be R. What's our finish for that? Dash on 4. Let's make it black again. Make sure it goes all the way for the whole bond, right? Well, I'm pleased to announce on the first test, nobody stopped their dashes or wedges halfway. So what I did worked, but I hope it continues to work. Okay. And some adjacent bond is a wedge. That means don't pick this bond. It's not adjacent, right? So you want to go wedge here. And you got 5 out of 5. And then we'll do the bicyclo in the other direction, where we're given a drawing and we have to name it. Yes, sir.
Are you sure choose the right spot?
I'm sure the 2 is the 2
Yeah.
as opposed to the 3. CH2, CH2, C with nothing but C
Yeah, but that's the same distance.
goes to a C with nothing but C. Agreed?
Yeah.
So you heard what I said, CH2 goes to CH2 goes to a C with nothing but C, which also goes to a C with nothing but C.
Yeah.
CH2 goes to CH2 goes to a C with nothing but C, and none of the next C's have nothing but C. They all have at least one H.
Oh,
The phenyl is the decider.
okay.
And it wasn't as tricky as our part 4 question we did earlier. It was getting there, but it didn't have the same level of tenacity, as they say. And there you go. Oh, it's a beast.
That's something you would bring at the exam?
This one?
It would.
I don't know. Let's see if there's parts that are just too unpalatable to see again. Let's see. Okay. Don't forget, you got to follow the Bicyclo rules. One of those blue dots is 1, but next most important thing is the first double bond encountered in the ring. In the rings, and that would be this one.
So you go right.
I have to start here and go right. You are correct, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll just number where we need numbers now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And when I do that, I put a 14 dot here. Wow. I know it's strange, isn't it? And what's the word that goes in front of that?
Cycle.
Oh, close. Bicycle.
Oh.
Okay, I thought you said cycle. Okay. And then the next biggest one's the one going down, isn't it? That's a 3. And the smallest one is the one in the middle. It's a 1. What's 14 plus 13 plus 1? 14 plus 13. 14 plus 3 plus 1. And then add 2 dots. Oh, it's our favorite 20. How do you say 20 carbons? Icosine. Icos. And the ene's between 4 and 5. How do you say that? 4. Nice.
Also, if the double bonds are going off the chain, those are groups.
Those are just groups. Yeah, they get listed alphabetically.
Okay.
If they're one of the new groups, the methylene, the phenyl, the vinyl, the allyl, they're not more important than groups you learned for test 1. Just alphabetize all of them. So what is that group on 9? I'll tell you, the main part of the group is just the carbon, and it's 1 with a double bond to the chain. We have a name for that. Methylene that has groups on it. And you don't have to tell me where they are. There's only 1 carbon to put them on, right? Bromoiodomethylene. But, oh, there's always the but. It's got geometry. It does. It does. $129 versus 79.9. I'm not making that stuff up. It's right on your periodic table. Okay. Then CH2 on the, oh, I think the one on the right is higher. 1, 2, 3, and then stuff. 1, 2, 3, and no stuff. You like that? Stuff versus no stuff. And that was on the right. It's a Z. And you put the Z with the name of the group. Because the Z is not in the rings, is it? It's outside the rings. So I'll write the name here. It's a Z bromo iodo methylene. That's this thing right there. It goes by B. B. And this one down here, it goes by I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Isohexyl, right? And then this one goes by, it's parentheses. And by the way, this should be parentheses too, because there's a lot of things in there. And this one should be 2,2 diiodo propyl. Iodo propyl.
Is it the third?
No, the turd has to, anyway, it would be a neopentyl if those iodines were carbons. And they're not, they're iodine. So only carbon branching gives tert, sex, and iso. I'm glad it's coming up now. Yeah. So if my group's alphabetizing goes by the B, then IO is before IS, right? LMNOPQRS, or start at A. Okay, so, whew. How about doing the last one? IS is the last one, right? Because it's going to go closest to Bicyclo. Hello. Please don't do that again. 1 isohexyl, right? And then I'll go to the line previous. Now I can put them alphabetical. The blue one first, right? And what carbon number is the methylene on?
9.
9, blue parenthesis, Z, bromo iodo. This is a vowel heaven, like Finland. Bromoiodo methylene. It's going to go ahead of this one. Yeah. Oh, we forgot it entirely. You are correct, madam. It's an allele, isn't it? That's our first one, isn't it? Which means, of course, my spacing's all now off. That's called 3 lines instead of 2. The one before that's the first one. So the new first one's 4 allele. And the first part of the name is going to be here. Don't worry, I'm going to box this thing whole up so you know where it starts. It's got 2 stereocenters and a double bond with geometry in the rings. This would also be a 5-pointer. Even if the test says 4 points, this is 5 points. And I can't put the alleles first. Sorry. Get rid of it. I already have it. I have it. What happened? Nothing happened. This is the start. We have room in front of 4 allele for isohexyl? We do. 1 isohexyl. And dash. Stereocenters. Well, let's move. CH2, the stereocenter 1. Let's do that one first. Oh, it's CH2 is all the way around. But the first one that hits us something is this, isn't it? 1. I'm doing stereocenter 1. And then the next one that hits something is this one, right? CH2 once, twice, then nothing but C's. And one that's, oops, I put that in the wrong spot, didn't I? Now, 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one has a branch. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one has a branch, but all carbons on the branch. The branch here has 1, 2 carbons and an H. So yeah, we got the iso for 4. Oh, small mercies, it's on a dash already. And it's R. And 1 is R. Yeah. I'm gonna make a comment because a student said something real smart this morning. She says, this 5-point question is taking me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The first mechanism question is 25 points, and we did it in 15 minutes. Is nomenclature your highest priority on this test? No. It's if you have some time, then you think about it. You start with part 4 because that first question has got a lot of points on it. Yeah, we'll do the winter 18 one because we did the fall 19 one this morning. So good comment she made there. One R, and then there's it's an E this time for stereocenter, not stereocenter. Alkene geometry on 4 is E. Do you want me to prove it? Of course you do. We cut in half. We prioritize 1 and 2. There's going to be priorities on everything in this molecule. Don't forget there's an H up there for a 2 and a 1 for that. And the ones are on opposite sides. You have to cross the double bond to get from this one to this one. That's an E. 4 is E. I'll put it in baby blue. And then stereocenter 16. Wow.
Does it matter the order and the parentheses?
Yeah, in these parentheses, you go increasing numbers, and these ones you go decreasing. Because these indicate the order you counted the numbers, the carbons, the chain. And these just increasing order. I don't grade that ever. I don't grade either of those ever. If you have the right numbers here in the wrong order, I give you your test back and I'll put an arrow between numbers that need to switch spots, but I will not take off a point or a quarter point, which would be the worst penalty even anyway. And we have a stereocenter on 16. Do you like this for the 1 like I do? Put it in a triangle for fun. CH2 goes to a C with an I. All the other carbons are also CH2s, but they don't go to a C with an I. And this CH2 goes to a branched carbon on the next one. This, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one's branched. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one doesn't have anything. The 6th one doesn't have it. I think we have it. Oh, that's not a triangle. I apologize. Apologize to the geometry gods. And there 3 and 4. Oh, it's a oh no, it's just as good as being on a dash. It's on a wedge. R is wrong. Therefore, stereocenter 16 is R is wrong. S is right. And as promised, we need a yellow box. I don't know if it'll let me do straight lines or anything. The name is in the.
Why did you write the isopropyl twice?
That didn't work at all. Probably because it's out of order on the second or the first one, isn't it?
Shouldn't it be the last thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it goes A, B. We don't have the ionopropyl either. Uh-oh. That's probably what happened. I knew I had to put the other I, but I put the first I twice instead. I'm glad you caught it. Yes, nomenclature is tedious. I agree wholeheartedly. And it won't let me do straight lines, so we'll do this rough box. Here, there's your answer. The most torturous 5 points ever. Okay. You guys remember what we're doing next.
Yeah, do the mechanism.
Yeah, can I do something like that?
We want